Hey, I'm Adila.
I'm Shen. Welcome back to Kiasu Design Live.
Let's put some sound effects here.
Dong, dong, dong.
Yes. So, hi guys.
Hello.
I know
We
it's
back.
been so long.
It has been. Let's just look back at our episodes, right?
Yeah, the published dates.
We were last active on Spotify on 2nd of May. Honestly, it doesn't seem very long ago because today is end of June.
Yes. So it's around, I think, 2 months.
2 months. But I mean, because recording is always backdated, right?
To tell you guys the truth, actually, we last recorded back in March.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, back in March.
It has been 4 months.
And that was way before I got busy. So just a small update, not really a small update, a big announcement. I just gave birth to my third born.
Yeah.
So that's why I was missing in action for some time.
Yeah, I think both of us just got really busy because of our lives, which we will update later. I think that's the whole premise of today's episode. It's just casual Kopi Chat.
Yes.
To update about our lives and share our insights about life and also a bit of design. And because we also posted on Instagram, right, to explain to the internet, like, oh, you know what we have been up to. Not sure if people really care about
Oh, you make it sound
us
sad.
unsolicited update. But anyway, then got people say that, hey, the photo looks like the two of you adopted a child.
Serious?
Because it's the two of us.
Oh,
And then you holding your baby, right?
Yeah.
So there are some people saying
I didn't realize
it's like the two of you moved on in life, because I think the content is also a bit like clickbaity, right? It's like, oh, life update. Then got baby.
This is so funny.
By the way, just to clarify over here, two of us are not
Together.
as in we are partners, but we are partners in podcast, but not anything more than that. To Adila's husband, don't worry. And yeah, the baby is rightfully Adila's and her husband's. just to clarify.
Okay, I didn't expect that. Yeah. So by the way, I just gave birth. Just to give a bit of preface, I have 3 children now. My first 2 are girls, so this one is a boy.
Yay.
So it's a nice addition to the
Change.
family, a nice surprise, a nice change, and also a lot more challenging and difficult for me.
What's the challenging part?
Maybe I'm just getting old.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Being old is a constant factor of
and
change.
maybe because the first 2 pregnancies it was girls, right? So this one is a boy, so maybe that's the change also.
Actually, you told me something that I never ever thought of, because I'm not a parent. It's the thing about rooms. When you have a same gender and then suddenly you give birth to another gender,
Oh, okay.
Eventually they want to have separate rooms, because if it's all girls, then it's easier for them to share a room, right? But suddenly if there's a boy into the mix, then you all have to think about, like, eventually they will want to have their own private space lah. So that's something that I never really thought of.
Actually, it's quite true, because for me, my own siblings, right, we're all girls. Same as yours, right?
Yeah, we're all girls. 3 of us. Yeah.
Same trio. Also 3.
Eh.
Charlie's Angels. Okay, so you know about me. So what's up about you? What's our current
Okay.
life status?
Life status. I also gave birth to employment. No,
You adopted employment.
That's a very good one. Yes, I adopted employment. Of course, I didn't give. I think give birth employment means you're a boss, right? The analogy. Okay, so the headline of my life update is, after the layoff, I went for a long break, and then I eventually got employed. Yay! Thank
Congrats
you.
to you.
Thank you. Okay. Anyway, just to help navigate today's episode is really a very casual update on our lives. It's also nice because I think this year has been a bit tough for a lot of us designers. So just treat this episode as like this very nice wind down
Lay back.
to help accompany you lah. Through...
Imagine you are just sitting down with kopi with us, and
Yeah, I
then
can
just
drink kopi.
chatting, and then
Yes. Nothing super deadpan serious. Let's jump into it. So Adila, your headline for your life update, right? Becoming a parent of a newborn once again.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us all about it.
Well, I would say this was a bit unexpected, meaning that I
Eh?
didn't... What? actually, the original plan was to get a full-time job last year after my 3 to 4 months sabbatical break. But then instead of finding a job, I found myself pregnant.
Which is also a job.
Yes. Correct.
You did not specify enough. It's like the PM never give proper requirements.
Job requirements. Yeah.
Not
Go out of
unclear.
scope,
Yeah, requirement unclear.
Yeah. Yeah, so actually there was some sort of a family planning, but then things came out differently. Eventually I didn't feel confident that anyone would hire me at the start of the pregnancy.
Why?
Because I keep feeling like if I were to go for the interviews and all that, right, eventually I have to tell them the truth, that I am pregnant. And then it will come to a point where they will evaluate, do they really want to hire this newly pregnant person?
Right.
And then I also worry about, because as I mentioned before, my pregnancy for this round was a bit challenging.
Right.
So I wasn't confident also in terms of whether am I able to fulfill the requirements of the job well enough for them to be satisfied. Yeah, because surely they will have the 3 months or 6 months probation, and then I didn't want to I don't know, disappoint them. And
while
then,
trying to juggle being a mom.
Yeah,
also.
precisely. Then back then also there were a lot of those appointments I have to go for.
Yeah.
And then there were times where I was really tired, just from being pregnant. And then
Can understand.
yeah, remember I told you before, it was at 10 a.m. I felt so tired. I just rest. Next thing I know, it's already 2 p.m. Yeah.
The next day.
No. That is so drama. But basically, yeah, it was a more difficult pregnancy that I went through, and I was thankful that I wasn't employed yet, because if let's say I was, and then I was also having such a difficult time being pregnant for the third time, I think I'll be so
Stressed out.
So exhausted, stressed out, everything the whole thing.
I agree.
Yeah, precisely.
Actually, when you talked about being expecting plus being in the context of today's design industry, right? I think it's a bit tough. Like, because we all know everyone always say like, wow, the UX job industry is very tough right now. So I cannot imagine if you are someone who is pregnant. Yeah, because I do think there's already a lot of candidates who are applying for that one job.
Yeah,
let
correct.
alone that you are expecting, and it's pretty stressful.
Because I've done freelancing for the past 5 years or so. So in a way, it's like running my own business. So I imagine putting myself in the shoes of the employer, right? Hiring someone, knowing that this person whom I'm going to hire is just going to be here for the next, 3 to 5 months.
Correct.
Or 6 months.
Yeah.
After that, she's going to be away.
For maternity.
For maternity leave. And then
Then I have to pay for her maternity also.
Yeah, when I just hired her. So all these things, I would say it affected me, and then it really dampened my confidence to apply for jobs. So I just thought, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to bother. So I decided to just focus on my well-being, my mental health, and then on the pregnancy. And then I took it as a trial period, how it feels like to be totally not employed. Meaning I didn't take freelance jobs. I mean, I did have freelance clients, but they were more like old clients that were doing maintenance jobs. Yeah,
but at least you have
projects.
those lah.
Yes, I have those, but not a lot. And then I gave being a stay-home mom a try and see whether is it something that fulfills me, is it something that makes me happy. Basically, what are my thoughts currently after not feeling the pressure for work, because I've been basically on a break lah. So originally that 3-4 months break extended all the way until this year, so it went beyond 4 months.
Yeah.
So it feels like a nice change to have a mental break from handling clients, chasing clients, or even job hunting. So Did
you try job hunting while you were?
I didn't really job hunt, but I did survey lah.
Or just look through.
Yes, I surveyed some jobs, and then looked through how many applicants apply, and then what kind of requirements are their demands. It was in a way keep an eye on what's out there, but not really actively seeking it yet. But telling myself, this will come later, not now.
Okay. Just to keep yourself updated.
Yes,
still.
precisely. Yeah. I would think of life in general, right? We experience life in different seasons. So there are seasons where you are busy, there are seasons where maybe you are down because maybe you are sick, or you fell down, or you got into an accident, then you have to be
recuperating.
Yes, precisely. So this was just one of my season where I gave birth. I need to recover.
Actually, I think this kind of thinking is good. Because it took me a while also when I got laid off. And then to me, it's like, I'm in my prime age and I should not be resting. Yeah, it took me a while to really tell myself like it's really okay to just take a bit of rest. Yeah, enjoy this downtime lah. Cause once you get employed, it will be very long until you get a good rest also. Until the next layoff, I guess.
How long were you? Don't say that lah.
JK.
How long were you working before you got laid off? 5 years, is it?
No, like 9 years.
9 years. And okay, apart from taking holiday breaks or annual leaves, there wasn't really a
sabbatical
break purposely. Oh.
Even like in between jobs, I also take at most 1 week break.
Oh, that's very short.
I think it's the thinking that your parents grew in you also. Because my dad is always like this very diligent employee.
Sounds like my mom. Okay.
And a manager now.
Okay, not manager, but yeah.
Yeah, so he always tells me like, just take charge of your prime age. Yeah, and personal finances is something that he also grew you. So when you put these two together, right, as an employment kind of drive your finances, then you won't want to take breaks. Like to you, not employed and slacking off every day is almost a sin at this age. Yeah, so it really took me a while. Okay, I really think it's a very good point when you say it's a very seasonal thing. Like, it's just ebbs and flows lah, right?
Yes.
And just acknowledge that right now at your point, you just know that you're not at the best. Take
You're
care
not
of
at your peak lah,
yourself.
basically. You're not at your peak,
Yeah. Sorry, you're not at your peak, correct. I think the jobs will all come after. Because I think a lot of people are anxious.
Yes.
I'm also talking about my own experience when I was unemployed. Because I feel like every of the hiring out there is a chance for me to finally get back into employment. Yeah. So you have a choice, right? It's either you continue resting or you go and quickly take that opportunity. Yeah, but a lot of times, like, you need to acknowledge that actually opportunity will really come when you're ready for it.
As long as you prepare for it.
Yeah, as long as you're prepared for it, don't worry that these opportunities will still be out there.
Then also, I remember this other movie. Oh God, it's a ghost story movie, but it's a ghost comedy movie with this, I cannot remember his name, but basically the lead guy is trying to rescue his wife who is being captured by a ghost.
Okay.
In the castle.
Okay.
Old mansion. So this Sia tells him, what are you waiting for? Go in. Then he said, no, I've been trying, but I really cannot get in. And then she said, you try and you fail, you try and you fail, you try and you fail. The only true failure if you stop trying. You get the
point?
The point? Yeah.
Keep trying?
Yeah. Because what she's trying to say is that the only true failure if you stop trying. So you just have to keep trying.
But I think the question is also, when should I take a break in the midst of trying?
I guess when it comes to maybe if you feel that your emotions and you really cannot keep up that positive mindset anymore, then you really need to just take a break, take a breather from all that, then come back refresh. Because like when people go vacation right? When you come back, feel more motivated. Recharged. More motivated.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
True,
actually, I wanted to add one more point after you said about the seasons. This is something that I observe, not from my point of view, but also from other designers who I follow on LinkedIn and Instagram. They say after going through COVID and going through layoffs, right, they decide that they did a bit of retrospective of themselves, personal reflection, and then they realize that they don't want to equate their self-worth by a job. Meaning don't let a job define you, your worth, that sort of thing.
It's true. It's true.
Like there's surely more to you. If you are not a UX designer, who are you as a person?
I share the same thinking also. So I think it was back in March this year that we got invited to Conversations for Change event by DBCS. The story was every company has a game for you to play. And the game is being set out like a career progression ladder. Yeah, but that is the company's own definition of how you progress as a product designer. You go into this game knowing that this is the set of rules that they give to you. But that doesn't mean that is that true definition of how you grow as a designer. In that presentation, we also spoke about then how do we deal with this, right? I think one way is really you set your own progression.
Yes.
Yeah, you have your own definition.
Meaning you do your own career planning.
Correct. I think that's so fun. Like, So imagine you're your own company.
Mm.
Yeah. How would you plot your growth as a product designer? Yeah.
To tap on your point, right? I guess this is just very human of us to compare ourselves to other people. So I chanced upon some of my friends who were in the same secondary school as me last time. And then I realized,
starting, quote unquote, starting point.
Starting point. So we were all like in a very similar starting point, you see. None of us were like more richer or poorer or, I don't know, come from a wealthy family. We were all roughly the same. But then they move on. Some became managers, some became lecturers. So when I compare myself with them, then I realize, oh, they are managers or they are running companies or they are head of certain divisions. And then I start to think like, wow, they are not bad, they are doing quite well in their careers. Then I look back, hey, we are in our 30s, that's why it's like that. Then when I compare it to myself, then I ask myself, but where am I? Where do I sit in this picture? And then I realized it's not a fair comparison, because maybe for them they exchange time with family or building a family for career. But for me, my priority was having a family alongside having a career. But then somewhere along the point, I thought, okay, my children needs me more. Right. So I take a bit of a break, focus on them for a while, then I jump back into a career. So in what I'm trying to say is that different people have different paths, but we are all moving forward. And if you compare yourself to maybe your friend who is high flying, you never know what is that one thing he sacrificed behind his success.
Yeah, I think it's also what are you measuring against, lor.
Yeah. What makes you fulfilled like in life?
Yeah, but the paradox also is, even if you know what you're measuring against, you will never know the absolute value for other people. Like, even if you say like, okay, let's measure against happiness, how much do you know about the other people who seemingly do well in their lives? So I think all in all, it's just no point. No point to compare, which is obviously easier said than done. So build on your point and to build on our previous idea, I do think maybe it's a worthwhile experiment to just plot out like this career progression of myself as a designer, myself as just a person who is learning in life, myself as a, let's say for us is a daughter, or myself as a mom. Like, how do I today as a mom go to a senior mom or like principal mom? You know, like, I think that is such a fun thinking or fun experiment to go through. And like, because you take on different roles in life. Yeah. So I think like thought experiment, right? Thinking about this just helps you expand more and look further than just yourself and work.
When you say senior mom, it reminds me of being a grandma though.
Yeah. Like the seniority here, it means a lot. Anyway, yeah, let's talk about the reality of being a working
designer parent.
Correct.
So I would say this is, I'm just speaking based on my own experience. So please guys, don't come for me. I don't speak for everyone. So working as a designer, I felt that I needed to prove myself even more, and I feel like I have to work extra hard to prove myself to other colleagues that I can get the job done.
But this is generally across, not really like design related, right? Just as long as you are working as a mom.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
But still valid as a point.
Still valid, because you never know, because when you come to work and then everybody's happy to go lucky together, but then maybe when you are away because you have to attend to some of maybe your kid fell sick and then you have to be away, then your other colleague who has no kids have to come in and
cover for you.
Yeah, pick up the slack and cover for you. And then maybe on some days it's fine, but over time they may bear a grudge. You never know. They may feel like, hey, I'm working my ass off just trying to cover this person. So I've heard of that before, actually. In where? I can't remember from where. I saw this conversation, this thread of comments before, saying that it was anonymous. It was an anonymous post. People saying,
of course.
Yeah, they were just complaining. Yeah. So back to my point. So then at work sometimes I may feel, so when I'm working, right, at work I might feel this there's a guilt trip feeling of not being there for my kids. Like starting to miss your kids, starting to miss your children, wondering how they are, and then wondering whether am I being a good mom or am I being a bad mom, setting them aside. But then when I have to be at home with them, I feel bad for not performing at work. So it's
I get what
like
you mean.
neither here nor there.
It's like you are taking on 2 jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you feel that you cannot perform at your optimal in both.
Yeah. So in the end, I realized it was just an endless cycle of guilt, and
Oh man.
the more I entertained that guilt feeling in my head, right, it was just heavy mentally, basically, and emotionally. I would say I'm a very positive-minded person. So I thought I was able to balance work and having young kids well. Like I want to be a good employee and also a good mom. Interestingly, there was one time I spoke to a career coach, and she said, "You cannot have the best of both worlds."
Okay.
At first, I didn't want to believe her. I want to prove her wrong. Yeah, but I learned it the hard way that you really cannot excel at all. I really need to choose my battles, like basically. Maybe some days, I just have to close one eye regarding my child being sick. I have to fulfill this certain deadline, for example. Yeah, like you said, it's really 2 jobs. Yeah. And I can't split myself. So I always mention to my husband, I wish I can clone myself.
I think if you can clone yourself, you might as well do other things also. and not
just work, right?
And not just work. But anyway, I get your point. Something that is more specific to being a designer and being a mom is that I feel like design work is a bit sporadic. It's hard to know when you will get that idea. So a lot of times you need to sit down and then try to work through the ambiguity. Especially when there's ambiguity, it's very hard to really say, this thing takes me around 3 days. Then these are the tasks that I need to do. It's a lot of a lot of fuzziness that you have to navigate. And I think being a mom is just very hard to gauge, especially when your kids are very young. It's also a lot of unexpected things. You don't know when let's say now your kid is like a few months old, right? You don't know when he'll wake up, when he will need you. And then especially for moms, like kids are very needy to their moms. So
most of the time, some of them are to their dads.
So if design work is like so fuzzy, like when you're in that very ambiguous space, plus like you're trying to handle a kid, right?
It's just also ambiguous.
It's like another ambiguous scope, right? It's like 2 ambiguous stuff. Then how do you balance? Like it's very hard to anticipate task for you. So I think that is
also,
that.
Adding on to the point about the design work being ambiguous and fuzzy, right? It's like you may think, okay, I think I might estimate take 3 days.
Correct.
And these are the list of tasks. And then just when you are halfway deep in the work, then you realize, oh shit, I need to get more things done.
Correct,
or this part needs to get
uncover more
things.
stuff.
Yeah, or maybe you thought, okay, someone did the research, let me just have a look. Then the more you do the work, you realize, not enough leh. This research doesn't prove insights useful for me. I still need to do.
You already promised 3 days. Yeah, but the same thing is also for baby. You know, when baby cries, then you're like, okay, probably like, I'll take 30 minutes to go and settle baby. Then you open the baby pampers, then you realize that, oh shit, the baby pooped.
Yes,
I new task. I need to go and like change the freaking pampers. Then when you change your pampers, you realize that, oh crap, the baby's butt got rashes. Then you go and need to settle the rash thing, right? Need to call a freaking doctor. And then it's just more and more tasks also.
Yes. It makes it sound so dramatic, but yes, I get what you mean.
Then I'm trying like, okay, the reason why I empathize is because my twin gave birth to a kid also. So to bring back to your point, honestly, at the very start of my career, I had a few colleagues also who really hate working moms.
Oh, okay.
And I wish I could go back and tell them like, hey, really, y'all cannot be like that. Like they give very snarky comments. Like every time working mom says that, oh, I need to attend to my kid. To them it's like, well, I'll see your excuse again. But back then because I also wasn't very experienced with a kid and a working mom until my twin gave birth. So
when you see the reality of things.
Yeah, back then I was like very indifferent. I was like, maybe really excuse, I don't know. But now if I really face that again, I think I will really speak up for the working parents.
That's so nice of you.
Really, it's really tough You go and try yourself lah. Walao.
All these people.
So now knowing this, right, I guess the question is then how do we resolve? Like for me, what advice would you give?
For me, I've come to a realization that not everyone will be willing to accept the fact that you are a working parent. So if you use a reason saying that, oh, I have to be away because of my child, this and this, it gets too personal. So I would say when you are trying to maybe give a reason to your colleagues or your manager, make it as formal as possible.
Example?
For example, maybe don't say that, oh,
I know, over-explaining, you're saying.
over-explaining. Yeah, don't over-explain and then put in too much emotions or personal things inside your reasoning. If you cannot get it done, so you have to be upfront and then say, oh, I'm so sorry, but I won't be able to get this done by this Friday for personal reason. I have to be away, but I will get back to you by Monday. Something like that. Don't over-explain yourself and saying, oh, I cannot because my daughter got this and this and that and that. And then if you keep saying the same thing, right, people may think that it's just a reason.
Like why are you trying so hard to explain?
Precisely. Yeah.
Is that something you did last time?
Yeah, it's based on my experience, basically.
Right.
Yeah. We have a variety of people. There are some people who like kids and people who don't like kids. So you never know this person that you're dealing with, right, is a person who are open to accepting you as a working parent that you have to work together with. You get what I mean? So if possible, just don't say about personal stuff too much lah.
Right.
I mean, it's sad lah, of course.
Right.
It's sad. It's really sad because you cannot be too personal unless you have already built a good rapport with the person. That's my caveat to it. You yourself as a working parent, you have to be tactful lah with your answers and your replies. And work together with your partner lah.
Yeah. I have been like working for 9 years. I've met a variety of colleagues as well. My mad respect, right, is for single moms. I worked with a single mom before. Wow. Now knowing all the work goes into bringing up a kid, even before birth, and still trying to juggle work, I don't know how she managed to even excel in her work. Yeah, so I have mad respect for her. Like, how maybe the kid is crying there, like, I don't know, but it seems like she's very composed of her role between a single mom and her work. But I think that single mom is a whole new topic altogether. But anyway, back to the point. Maybe not over explaining. That is definitely something.
I think over explaining doesn't just relate to working parents, but also other people also. Yeah,
that's true. But I think one other thing related to design that can complement not over-explaining and being professional in why you can't be there, right, is maybe document your process. Really be
transparent.
Diligent and transparent in telling people this is where I am. Because I think a lot of times for design also you may get stuck in that zone, right? And then you end up like just thinking and like designing, but then for other people it's like, what are they doing? Like, why did they disappear? Stacking, is it?
Or maybe they will think, they were gone and this is their only progress.
Correct, yeah. So I think you need to show them, like, I tried this, doesn't work. This is my thinking now.
Yeah, what you are saying is very true. It's what I learned the hard way as well. Having my own process and then also communicating how I work, basically.
Correct.
Being clear with how I work.
Okay. So let's talk about your state now. Like, what are you, where are you at, and what's your next steps?
So basically right now, my next steps would be going back to job hunting after my maternity leave.
Woo!
Once I put my son in infant care. To tell you the truth, actually a part of me is hopeful, but a small part of me is also nervous about job hunting. Because I feel that I have to go back to zero. Adjust my portfolio again, apply, go through interviews, face rejection,
heavy breathing,
wait for reply and all this. Yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful because I feel I'm in a better headspace to face what may come.
That's good.
Mentally as well, but of course I'm nervous because I ask myself, am I ready to face it all again? Like hearing from you how you go through rounds of interviews,
which we will talk about it later.
and then maybe being disappointed by what you read is not what you get. That's not just design, but any other job as well.
Especially now, so it's just tougher. Even when reality does not meet expectations. it's also hard for you to say, oh, it's okay, I'll just go for another opportunity. Because truth to be told, really the opportunity is not as much as in the past years. Which a lot of people definitely knows about this.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, I hear from you, from other friends, like who are job hunting. Right now, the economy is it's quite tough because there's a lot of designers and there's not a lot of jobs.
Yeah. But for you, as a mom of 3 now, like what would be the ideal working environment? I feel like an interviewer now.
So basically
Tell me about.
that is going to our next point, which is like what kind of company am I looking out for, right? I would of course care a lot about how much a company supports working parents.
And how do you find that out?
That's why I'm trying to find it out as well. I mean,
Okay, we'll let you all know if Adila finds out.
I mean, in the past, what has worked was to actually maybe read up on their website and then maybe look through their social media, and then sometimes maybe they will post about their colleague who is a working parent. Even better if you are able to get in touch with a designer who is working there, and then you ask yourself, do they have a family, and then how's their work-life balance like?
True.
That's the more accurate way lah. Because a company may say that they are all supportive of parents, they are flexible, they are good work-life balance. It's all for the positive outlook for the company. Yeah, but it's the people on the ground that may say otherwise. So sometimes you can go to Glassdoor or you talk to other people who used to work there also. It may be useful lah.
Yeah, or like if you all have any ways to find out if a company is family friendly, then let us know. So like if there's any telltale signs.
Or maybe even red flags.
Oh, yeah. Like, let's just go both ways. Yeah.
Yes.
Then let us know. I think it's a worthwhile episode. Like what we said, aging is a constant thing in life.
Yes.
So our listeners age as well. Probably you need it someday.
Yeah.
But actually, let's say if you are in an interview, right? How would you say like it's a competitive advantage being a designer as a parent?
In a way, I would say your plus point is that you are able to work under pressure.
True.
Because for example, like because I have 3 kids, so there will be times when in the evening it will get very chaotic. So maybe the baby is crying, and then I'm trying to take a shower, and then suddenly I get a knock on the door. My daughter wants to poop, and then she's in the other toilet, and then she wants me to wash her up. And then maybe it's crying.
Sounds stressful already.
Yeah. So I can tell you,
and then
it has happened a lot of times. Like you are really trying to balance, you know. Or maybe I'm trying to get dinner done, and then my 2 other girls are fighting, and then suddenly the baby was sleeping, and the baby started crying
because they fight.
Because they made noise, and he just started to nap. He was finally down for a nap, but then they made noise. Then now he's crying. Then I'm trying to cook, and then the food is gonna burn up soon if I leave it alone. I attend to the kid, and then I realized, wait, I was cooking something. And I smell something. Like, okay, shit, I have to go back and check. Okay, off the fire. Tell the kids, you want to fight? You want to go inside the room? I close the door.
Stakeholder management.
Yes.
Yeah, so task prioritization and stakeholder management.
Yes. Yeah.
A tier, SS tier even.
Yeah, and also talking about stakeholder management, also you need to be mindful of how you address your stakeholders. Like, I need to be calm and composed when I talk to these kids, because sometimes when you are shouting, and then they will also shout back.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like working with parents, they tend to be nicer.
I guess they're more tolerant.
Yeah, I think that's a good superpower.
Yep. Yes. Yeah.
All right. So that is Adila's pretty comprehensive life update and a lot of life advice.
Yes. Sharings about being a parent, being a designer who is happen to be a parent, and also how life is with a newborn.
Yeah. And really, if you are listening and if you have things to share, really let us know. I think parent X designer is such a fun topic to talk about.
Yeah, we would love to expand on it if, let's say, you guys have other points that you want us to explore on.
Yeah, or maybe we can just go to FOF channel, scroll back and see what topics they have talked about.
Okay.
And we expand on that. Yeah, that could
why
be
not?
possible. All right.